Bankers Club for organizing this conference, which is very timely and which is quite appropriate for Odisha.
We should focus on 3 C's. So what we need creativity for planning, visioning and planning, commitment to execute and excel, and most important is convergence of efforts, whether it's a government or banks, the NGO sector or the enterprises and the media and the civil society.
The 3 C's are definitely going to guide the bankers in Odisha towards bringing in economic prosperity.
We are all responsible bankers committed to the state's growth, the economy's growth.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I give you a brief about the day ahead, I would like to take the opportunity to say a few words about our organizers here. Bankers Club that include RBI and 28 leading banks operating within the state. And its objective is to serve the informational, career and educational requirement of bankers. The mission of the club is to provide an enduring neutral platform for fostering relationships and maximizing professional development through a series of meetings, events, activities, sharing of information, expertise and experience. The Bankers Club Bhubaneswar has embarked on a journey of taking up intellectual and social activities by leveraging on the enormous expertise and experience of its members. In fact, this conclave is just the first splash in a series of mega events that the club is planning to unfold very soon. Coming back to the conclave for which we all have gathered here today, the other important role in organizing this wonderful event has been played by the Political and Business Daily, essentially a business newspaper with a strong political content. It is published simultaneously from New Delhi and Odisha. We will be having a plenary session, 4 technical sessions, and an interactive and concluding session. The themes are as relevant as the conclave itself. Banking, the catalyst to economic growth of Odisha will be the topic for our plenary session. The technical sessions will have themes such as tourism and hospitality for economic growth of Odisha, financial inclusion for inclusive growth, accelerating industrial growth for the economic development and job creation, and supply chain management key to agriculture development in Odisha. All these, I'm sure, will go a long way in contributing to the wisdom database of the policy makers, operational bankers, as well as members of the state. I would like to take the opportunity to inform here that each and every discussion that is taking place here or that will be going to take place in this conclave will be preserved online thanks to the efforts of Odisha Live, which is capturing all of it online. Odisha Live is one of the media partners for this event along with OTV. The event has been powered by SBI, and all the member banks like RBI and the 28 leading banks operating within the state are supporting this conclave. So gentlemen, I think we should get started, and the traditional way to start is always the best way to start. That is by lighting the ceremonial lamp. So I would like to request our chief guest, Shri G.C. Pati, IAS Chief Secretary Odisha, our guest of honor, Shri H.R. Khan, DG RBI, Shri P.K. Jaina, Regional Director RBI Bhubaneswar and President Bankers Club, Shri K. M. Trivedi, CGM SBI and Senior Vice President Bankers Club, and Shri B.K. Mishra, Resident Editor Political and Business Daily, to please light the lamp and inaugurate the conclave. We have something very refreshing for your eyes in the form of a beautiful piece of sand animation that will leave you awestruck. The animation will be carried out live by renowned sand artist Subal Maharana, who's a magician when it comes to sand. So can we have a huge round of applause for him?
Odisha, the state of faith and belief. Some also call it as Kalinga for its bravery. It's like the state has its own flavor and simplicity. The things that has amazed me the most are the temples of this ancient state. The architecture on the temple walls are simply mesmerizing. It appears to me as if the artists have written the lyric of life on the stones. The temples in Puri, Konark and Bhubaneswar speak about the spectacular art of this unique state. The Odissi dance really left something divine inside me. The state really speaks for itself. There's a perfect blend of art, culture, natural beauty and development. This is a place for everyone. The joy of being here at Odisha and experiencing the beauty and opportunities it showers is overwhelming.
A small gesture of appreciation. Thank you, sir. We'll start with the plenary session, and the topic, like I said, banking, the catalyst to economic growth of Odisha. The entire objective of the conclave is reflected in this particular theme. So I would like to invite onto the dais without any delay our esteemed speakers. Chief guest, Shri G.C. Pati, IAS Chief Secretary, Odisha, a dynamic IAS officer who has deftly handled a wide range of portfolios in the state, from industries and finance to agriculture and rural development, carving success stories in each department. Our guest of honor, Shri H.R. Khan, DG RBI, who carries the distinction of making phenomenal contribution to India's banking and finance system in the field of rural credit, financial inclusion, internal debt management, external investment, and exchange control. It is a privilege that his early schooling and master's degree come from this very city of Bhubaneswar. I would also like to invite Shri P.K. Jaina, Regional Director, RBI Bhubaneswar, and the President Bankers Club. He joined RBI as a Grade B officer in 1984, and during his 30 years of career has worked in various centers of RBI, including Patna, Mumbai, Bhubaneswar, Delhi and Kolkata, has had the experience of working at all important posts. He'll also be chairing the session. We'd like to invite Shri K.M. Trivedi, CGM SBI and Senior Vice President Bankers Club, a very experienced banker, now at the helm of affairs in the largest bank of the country in Odisha, extremely dynamic and versatile. And I would like to lastly invite Shri B.K. Mishra, Resident Editor, Political and Business Daily, a senior journalist of Odisha. Shri Mishra has already taken PBD to great heights of success under his leadership. Can I request all the gentlemen to please come to the dais? We would like to welcome all our dignitaries with lovely, lovely flower bouquets, as lovely as them. Thank you, girls. Well, I would now like to invite Shri P.K. Jaina, Regional Director, RBI Bhubaneswar, and the President Bankers Club Bhubaneswar, to please present the welcome address.
Respected Chief Secretary Sri G.C. Pati, our esteemed Deputy Governor, Reserve Bank of India, Sri H.R. Khan, Mr. K.M. Trivedi, CGM State Bank of India, Local Head Office, Bhubaneswar, Mr. B.K. Mishra, Resident Editor, PBD, my banker colleagues, friends and guests from the academic fraternity, senior officials of the government, print and electronic media representatives, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, as the president of the Bankers Club at Bhubaneswar, I extend a very, very hearty welcome to all of you. I thought I will give a brief introduction about the Bankers Club. The bankers community knows what a Bankers Club. For the non-banking community, I can say that it's an informal body where it's a forum for bonding, sharing of knowledge, sharing of information, and also in a way contribute to society in whatever manner possible by way of CSR or any activity that they can undertake to take the economy of the place where they work. I think in all over India, almost all the major cities, we have a Bankers Club. In Odisha also we have, but the activities of the Bankers Club had remained quite confined to within. So we had been thinking for some time as to why not take Bankers Club to a broader canvas. Bankers, as you know, are a major player, major stakeholder in growth of any economy. They do a lot of things, they undo a lot of things, there is a lot of expectation from them, they meet some of them, they fail in some of them. There are issues, there are constraints. But one thing I can say on behalf of the bankers community, the commitment is never lacking. There are constraints within which they operate, and those constraints are to be overcome. So when I came here almost a year back, and during the course of discussions we had been having, we thought, we all discuss within, in-house, as to what is our problem. Why we have some limited forums when we interact with government officials and various other forums, industry associations and all that. But we thought, why not go to a broader forum where involve all the stakeholders, come out with some of the issues and find some answer. If you can't get all the answers correct, at least try to make an attempt to reach the best of it, make the best of it. That is the objective with which we thought we'll organize such a conclave, and PVD, the resident director Mr. Bisra, he had a discussion with us, and that's how we are. We are wondering as to what we should be having as our theme. There are plenty of them. We have flagged one for the plenary session and 4 technical sessions we have for today. And it's not that these are the most important issues. There are several other issues also, but we thought let's flag some of the issues first and take things forward. I'm really overwhelmed by the presence of so many people out here, and we expect during the panel discussions to have more guests, and I'm sure the ideas that will come from these forums will give some clue as to how do we answer whatever challenges that we have got. Thank you very much.
I would now like to invite our chief guest, our Chief Secretary, Sri G.C. Pati, Chief Secretary of Odisha, to please address the gathering here.
First of all, let me compliment the Bankers Club for organizing this conference, which is very timely. We know that the role of bank is more important in the context of a state like Odisha, where there is enormous potential to script the story of growth and economic growth and prosperity. So that I sincerely seek support from the banking industry to finance agri-infrastructure in the state.
The souvenir for this conclave. Can we have a huge round of applause? The PBD Odisha Economic and Banking Conclave souvenir. Of course, we can't allow our chief guest to leave the dais without presenting him a small token of appreciation. So can we please have the memento? And I'll request Shri P.K. Jena to please present him as our gesture of appreciation. It's small, but it's heavy, let me tell you, sir. So I would now request Shri B.K. Mishra, resident editor, Political and Business Daily to please come here and speak a few words.
It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to this august gathering. We have amongst us here, and shall be joining us later during the course of the day, an array of experts, luminaries and visionaries, all bound by the same goal of ushering in a new era of development and growth in the economy of Odisha. We shall have the privilege to partake of the thoughts and strategies of the top echelons of three key drivers of growth: banks, their regulators, Reserve Bank of India, and the policymakers, the state government. For banking to leave its mark among the people of the state of Odisha, these three pivotal wings have to synergize their efforts and strengths, and this conclave would have achieved its goal if such a platform is strengthened, where these three important players of the state economy would coalesce their strategies and missions. At this point, I wish to express my gratitude to Bankers Club of Bhubaneswar for materializing the idea of holding this conclave.
I would now request our guest of honor, Shri H.R. Khan, Deputy Governor RBI, to please come here and deliver the keynote address. Can we have a huge round of applause for him?
Mr. P.K. Jaina, Mr. Trivedi, Mr. Mishra and Mr. Pati in absentia, my banker friends and colleagues, distinguished friends from media, other friends from banking community, academia, business, and all the invitees. It's my great pleasure to be here in one's own city and be part of economic and banking conclave organized by the Banker Club in association with Political and Business Daily. Let me start with thanking and complimenting the team behind it for putting together this conclave, and I believe this is going to be an annual affair. And I must thank all the people involved in this. Odisha has a very rich history, but relatively poor present. As you know, is one of the poorest states. Things have happened rapidly, but still we continue to be in the bottom of the pyramid in a sense. If you see 1913-14, the net per capita income based on 2004-5 prices, Odisha is around 26,000 rupees, almost two-thirds of the national average of about around 40,000. And only three states are behind us: Assam, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Dr. Raghuram Rajan, when he was Chief Economic Advisor before he came as Governor of Reserve Bank of India in September, he was part of that group to evolve a composite development index for the purpose of resource allocation. And they have taken a host of parameters: poverty ratio, education, health, per capita consumption, urbanization, SC/ST population, financial inclusion, connectivity. So based on 10 parameters, they have come out with what is known as development stroke need index. And there, Odisha is at the top. Here top means you are at the bottom. Top means bottom. So 0.80 is our index, which means that we are at the bottom. So this is the backdrop of the state of Odisha in the context of where we stand. I don't have to tell that we have huge resources in terms of mines, minerals, and many people don't know that 11% of the water resources are in Odisha, and we have huge potential in terms of agriculture, services sector, tourism. I am very happy that you have included, and of course industry. All of us know, I don't have to tell this to banker colleagues here, the banking sector plays a very, very important and crucial role in a prosperity, economic prosperity of a particular region. In fact, this is the point which was mentioned by our compeer and also the chief guest, Mr. Pati. It's almost a truism, but the jury is still out on the issue, whether finance leads growth or it follows growth. As you have seen, sometimes over financialization, if the real sector doesn't really grow and finance moves ahead of the real sector, you will have serious accidents. And we have seen the recent global crisis, how it happened. If people eat credit rather than the real stuff, you could have a problem. So you have to have a balance between growth and banking. I should say we should focus on 3 C's. So what we need is creativity. We saw that creativity. We need creativity for planning, visioning and planning. Commitment to execute and excel. And most important, as I mentioned, is convergence of efforts, whether it's a government or banks or NGO sector or the enterprises and the media and the civil society. If that doesn't happen, I think these possibilities and these resources will not be able to harness full potential.
I'm glad to inform that we are also using this platform to give away awards to the banks of Odisha for their outstanding performance. So the first set of awards that we have here is for the maximum number of branches opened in rural and semi-urban areas during 2013-14. So the first prize goes to State Bank of India. 56 out of total 73 branches opened in semi-urban and rural areas during the year. So I would request our guest of honor to present the award to Shri K.M. Trivedi, CGM, State Bank of India, Odisha Circle. The first prize. The second prize, that goes to Canara Bank. 33 out of total 40 branches open in semi-urban and rural areas during this year. So the third prize goes to Axis Bank. 32 out of 35 branches open in semi-urban and rural areas. And to receive the award, we have Shri Binod B. Chaudhary, Circle Head, Odisha. Moving on to the next set of awards, that is for highest credit deposit CD ratio of banks. Banks having more than 1,000 crore advance, which have both sanctioned and utilized in this state. So the first prize goes to Oriental Bank of Commerce, 74.98%. And to receive the award, I would like to invite Zonal Head Shri D.K. Malhotra. The second prize goes to Indian Overseas Bank, 72.58%. And to receive the award, may I request Chief Regional Manager Shri P.K. Mahanti to please come up to the dais. Thank you, sir. For the third prize, we have, goes to HDFC Bank with 68.82%. Can I request Shri Sanjeev Mishra to come here and receive the award on behalf of Shri D. Senapati, Senior Vice President. Shri Sanjeev Mishra, the third prize winner, HDFC Bank. Thank you. May I now request Shri K.M. Trivedi, Chief General Manager, SBI Bhubaneswar Circle, and Senior Vice President, Bankers Club Bhubaneswar, to please come here and address the gathering.
Before I move ahead, I would like to just recall the last few sentences which the Deputy Governor spoke, the 3 C's which he has given. The 3 C's are definitely going to guide the bankers in Odisha towards bringing in economic prosperity and full banking services to the people of Odisha. This much I would like to assure on behalf of all members of the Bankers Club to the DG. Sir, we have already decided that all the 4,546 unbanked Gram Panchayats will be covered in a phased manner in the next 5 years. That will be fully implemented in both letter and spirit, and by the end of August 2015, definitely every household in this state will be having a bank account. These commitments we have made not only to the government but to ourselves also, and we assure you, sir, that we will leave no stone unturned to fulfill these commitments.
I would request Shri P.K. Jena, the President Bankers Club Bhubaneswar, to present memento to our guest of honor and the other dignitaries on the dais. Thank you so much, gentlemen. That brings us to the end of the plenary session, but let me tell you, the conclave has just begun.
ये जो कॉन्फ्रेंस टी आयोजन करा जायथला एटा बैंक माने निजे इनिशिएटिव नै करचंती एटा बहुत स्वागत योग्य आ ए भलिया सब इंटरैक्शन हेले बैंक क्रेडिट रो एक्सपेंशन संभव होई परिबो आ सेतिरे हमरो इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ वृद्धि पाई परिबो।
ओडिसा रे तो बहुत पोटेंशियल अछि तेणु हमरो नेचुरल रिसोर्सेस बहुत अच्छी तेणु ताकू पोटेंशियल बहुत अच्छी देयर आर नंबर ऑफ सेक्टर्स इंडस्ट्री मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एसएमई सेक्टर देन एग्रो प्रोसेसिंग एंड एग्रो इंडस्ट्रीज आर बी स्कोप रही एंड देयर इज अ बिग वे वी आर ट्राइंग टू डू वेजिटेबल्स एंड ऑल एंड हॉर्टिकल्चर सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द एरिया सर्विस सेक्टर and IT and service sector also there is a tremendous potential in Odisha because we have got a lot of educated workforce, so we have potential in almost all segments.
In this first technical session, the topic we have is supply chain management, a key to agricultural development to Odisha. We have got the eminent panel with us, which includes Sri Rajesh Verma, IAS Principal Secretary Agriculture, Sri MS Padhi, IAS Commissioner cum Secretary Food Supplies and Consumer Welfare, Sri BK Mishra from NABARD, Sri RK Swain, DGM Canara Bank. We will be deliberating on this issue through our panel.
The demand for these products is also growing, owing to change in the consumption habits of the consumers. Due to increase in the demand, there is need for diversification and value addition. These are the key things which have to be addressed by the Indian agriculture policymakers.
The main topic, supply chain for development of agriculture production. Unless we have the end-to-end component, like we may produce potato, but if we do not store them, if we do not make it available, it will not be available for distribution. We will continue to have these kind of problems which we are facing today.
Can we have some system in our banking that we make a real appraisal of these kind of prospective entities and give them some funding when the funding for viability gap funding is arranged? So I do not find in our government whatever policy we have, agri policy, I have gone through the agri policy, we have got a large number of 63 or 69 different activities, wherein large number of activities you find in our policies related to your supply chain management. Maybe around 20 or 25 activities are there which is related to supply chain management, indirectly or directly. This is a very good step. But only issue is we do not have a system for the viability gap funding for the initial cooperatives or initial federations. So that kind of arrangement, somewhere it can be done. It can prosper, push the aggregation and supply chain management issues.
The supply chain management we are discussing really at appropriate time. The definition says that it is the movement of materials as they flow from their source to the end customer. That means from farmers to fork, for farmers field to fork. And lot of activities are there in supply chain, but broadly it can be classified into two. Harvesting, pre-harvesting stage and post-harvesting stage.
Odisha is a state where 70% of the population depends on agriculture, but it contributes only 20%. So where is the problem we want to analyze during the session? See, the biggest problem is on two sides. One is pre-harvesting problems, whether farmers are getting inputs, and the second part of it, post-harvesting, that is how they are going to sell their produce. On the both sides, we need some kind of supply management so that we can get a better revenue for the farmers.
The first session that came to our mind is tourism. So only thing for Odisha's development, tourism is one of the area which can lead to potential growth of Odisha. This is a brainstorming session where we are saying yes, this is the potential, we are identifying the potential and we are bringing all stakeholders, how we can define, how we can join together for the development of the economy. Anywhere you will not find bankers debating on the issue of tourism. This is first of its kind. Bankers are debating even on the issue of tourism because this tourism can lead to the development of the state.
Welcome to this session. It's a very important session. Basically, tourism and different kinds of tourism to be developed in Odisha. On behalf of Bankers Club, I welcome you all.
We are here for discussing on a very important issue like tourism. Deputy Governor RBI, he mentioned there is a tremendous potential available in Odisha, but so far we have not made good use of it.
Growth rate is about 9 to 10%. But so far as the international tourist arrival in our state is not that encouraging compared to our neighboring states. The main reasons, all of you must be aware, that the international connectivity and also the connectivity inside the country from different tourist destinations to our state. That is a major drawback in our state. But in spite of all odds, we have made a presence in the international tourist map, and for that purpose the state government has, in order to make Odisha as one of the preferred destinations, has come up with a tourism policy which was announced in 2013. Under the policy we have a lot of incentives for the private stakeholders both in travel, tourism and hospitality sector. And I think that we have had a lot of interactions with the stakeholders in past on many occasions, and to my mind this continuous interaction with the stakeholders helps us in preparing a meaningful plan and program for the future.
Tourism or hospitality sector doesn't mean necessarily only hotels. But yes, Odisha is lacking as far as hotel rooms are concerned. And as very rightly said by some of you, Odisha is not limited to Bhubaneswar and Puri. There is much beyond that. But do we have hotels? We don't have sufficient hotels in Bhubaneswar and Puri also.
Mainly the 8 actors, those are really responsible for the promote of tourism in anywhere in the world. In the 8 actors, 4 actors have taken, they are playing the promotional role, and other 4 actors, they are basically delivering and getting the profit. That is, we say, including banks and financial institutions. Then you have other 4 actors, those are really, they are basically the welfare actors. Say that is, in case of Odisha, I can say the 4 actors, India Tourism, Odisha Tourism, and other departments. Because tourism is a subject, it is not only Department of Tourism. When we are promoting tourism, we require the help of this forest, roads, even if ASI, or even state archaeology, culture. So that's why these are the I have taken as the coordinators. They have some contributions.
Our
state has the potential. Only entrepreneurs were present here, and the government has given their mind what they have done. Bankers are also said that since it comes under services sector, and there will be flow of credit to the services sector, I think this session will definitely ignite the passion in the people who are in the hospitality sector and in the tourism sector to go for better processing of tourism and better avenues of tourism in Odisha.
The bankers, the regulators, and the academicians and other stakeholders who are a part of the growth process in a state. By growth process, I mean the economic growth as well as growth in the social sectors. All of them should come together under one roof and deliberate on various issues. Mostly bankers have their own discussion forums or fora. Government agencies are discussing it on various forums. But we felt that everybody should come together and give their views and perspectives so that something concrete will emerge which will help the policy makers to formulate the right kind of policies, because we know that Odisha is a state which is full of potential for economic growth and prosperity.
First time I am observing the Bankers Club is organizing such a forum. Earlier the Bankers Club normally is organizing so many social functions and all, get together. But this is the new vistas I will say been added by this Bankers Club in Odisha, and a great initiative.
Basically, how to cover this all the household through financial inclusion during the 1 year period. Every household should have opportunity for a basic savings bank deposit. They should have access to credit, and there should be insurance coverage available to every household in all parts of the state.
One of the main issues has been that even though people borrow from the formal system, many of them, up to 30 to 35% of them, also borrow from the same money lenders that they were used to. There are various reasons for this. It's a kind of a sociological analysis as to why they do. It takes along more expertise than probably I have. But what has come up often, what has been pointed out by researchers who go into the villages and try and talk to people, do sample surveys, that there are at least 3 reasons for this. One is absolutely sociological. They are caught in a web of relationships in a village which they cannot escape. Second is that they are often in requirement of money very urgently. If there is an illness, if there is a death in the family, and as you all probably definitely would know, that one of the main reasons for falling back below the poverty line of those households who actually make it above is the question of health expenses. That has been the primary issue for bringing people down below the poverty line.
Banking can play a very major role, and if the coverage is bigger, every household has access to it. He gets a deposit, he gets a safe place to park his money and earn little interest on that. He also has access to credit. Anybody, any family for that matter. You need credit for many things.
The main aspect is that the distance is very high, distance very far off places, they are not able to come. And number 2, even they require money, bank checks sometimes, and we must address this issue. They prefer to go to the money lenders even at the rate of 60%. Though bank is lending only 10%, 12%, they are not able to come to them because of distance factor. They cannot come to the bank to take the loan or to deposit some money for spending a half day of the particular out of his own time. So we are addressing that problems. We are likely to put more BCs, we are likely to put more people, we are involving the local people, we are involving our retired staff.
major portion of the stakeholders of our state, Odisha, are outside the formal financial structure. They, in order to have inclusive growth, these people have to be brought to the mainstream of development. In order to do that, we have to actually provide banking access to all these people.
When Dr. K.C. Chakravarti, who was erstwhile Deputy Governor of RBI also, in the year 2006, 7 and 8, he was the chairman of our bank. And this financial inclusion, that particular terminology, it came from him only, and for the first time we were really wondering what does he mean by saying so. Then he decided in Pondicherry, he adopted one village, and within a period of 5 months the entire village was covered, and every individual, not one house, one account, every individual of the family had the account with us, and 100% financial inclusion was done for that particular village. So from there only it has become a flagship, and all the banks have started talking about financial inclusion. And fortunately Dr. K.C. Chakravarti, he came at the helm of affair in RBI, so he had really the platform where he could implement it for all the banks, and he could also enforce it.
How many years you think it will take to have complete inclusion for everybody in the society?
Well, the banks here, SLBC and all that, initially we thought of 3 years, and now it's up to 2020 we have taken that to cover all the panchayats. That's what we have taken. But I am not getting unduly worried by that. See, this is a move, this is a process, this will go on. So it's possible we do it in 4 years, it's possible that it gets stretched beyond 5 years. But we'll try our best and try to see that wherever it is possible to open, we'll go ahead with whatever constraints we have, and we'll try to remove that. And as and when things will unfold, we'll try to reach the target.
Very relevant and a very timely initiative because the last 5 years have not been very good when we talk of industrial and economic development. And with the new government at the center and at the state, I think it's a right time to start discussing about what needs to be done, how do we get the economy back on track.
What is expected is all of us have the responsibility to complete the incomplete person. We need to look at from a innovative, creative perspective to conclude things for the benefit at large, and employment creation is very important. Skill development is equally important. There are various schemes of Government of India which have come for the skill development.
That is really a boon or a bane that we have to find out. We are having many people, but where is the skill? So what happens is in the absence of the skill or the skilled human resources, MSME suffers a lot. And as a result, what is happening? If you see that majority of they start with much fanfare despite all odds.
Today we have a number of plants, and in 2012 this capacity had gone up from 2 to 15.04 with Jindal, Visa, Bhushan, a number of smaller plants coming in. A growth of about 752%. You look at aluminium, it's gone up from 0.38 to 2.51 during the same period, that is 2000 and 2012, a growth of 661%. Port capacity, we had a capacity of about 12.5 million tons with a major expansion of Paradip port and 2 more ports coming in, Dhamra and Gopalpur. This capacity now stands at 156. It's a huge growth of 114%. And on the services side, if you look at the IT exports, from $53.25 million in 2000, we are now doing about $325 million of software exports. This is a growth of about 605%. So, core sector, manufacturing sector, as well as services sector, there has been a huge growth.
This is Reema Tripathi from Reserve Bank. My question is pertaining to skill building. In prominent industrial countries like Germany, they have community colleges, people train in that, work as apprentices and then they're ready for employment. Now, in my question, I need to understand, sir, in India we have so many ITIs and similar models as community colleges. Ministry of HRD is looking after apprenticeship. We have acts and boards. Then where are we missing the link, sir? That is what I wanted to know.
See, skill is a recent development which has come to our mind only in the last couple of years, what I remember. There is improvement, but again, all of us will admit that our quality of education, sincerity of education is missing somewhere. In fact, to tell you in a lighter way, because I am associated with the technical institutions today, I am a member of the fee structure committee, so I happen to know, interact. Now, today students along with the parents come and ask the college owners to what extent copy is allowed. Now, you please imagine a situation where he is coming prepared and sometimes he walks out of the college if he gets a negative feedback. What is that negative feedback? That copies are not allowed in this college.
It was one meeting where several topics discussed, but maybe more details in, say, like take for example industrialization, job creation. That could have been itself is about maybe 6 hours kind of a program. That is a very important thing. So, in details could have been done.
The prime objective of this conclave is to discuss and analyze different aspects of economic development and economic growth with particular reference to Odisha. In this session, we had discussed on a very topical issue that is accelerating industrial growth for economic development and job creation. So, for the first time, the Bankers Club of Bhubaneswar, we have decided to discuss important matters and contribute in a way in the development of the state.
Onto the stage are eminent speakers, Shri P.K. Jaina, RD, RBI, Shri K.M. Trivedi, CGM, SBI, and Shri Dilip Mandal, CGM, IDBI. Can we have a huge round of applause for all of them? Lovely technical sessions, lot of discussions, lot of inputs, lot of suggestions that came from eminent people. So I would now request Shri P.K. Jaina to carry it forward from here and maybe discuss whatever was churned out in the conclave today.
All these issues got flagged during the course of those deliberations we had, both in the morning one session and the afternoon, these two sessions. But still, within that there is always a hope. Within those constraints there is a hope. Already, I think some interesting statistics about the deposit growth of 40%, which is happening in the rural branches. That is something of a very, very, heartening for all of us. Today there is value, and if you go to the rural pockets, I don't think it's going to be a big issue as far as viability is concerned. So, what I can exert, I think a lot of lessons were to be taken from those two sessions, and all of us have to put our hands together, brains together, and we have to work towards achieving that financial inclusion.
Overall, there also we had a number of takeaways. There, after the session, after the speeches, there were a lot of questions. In fact, the question and answer session was quite involved, and the questions ranged from practical issues to conceptual issues, and I think they were aptly answered by the panelists. And in the end, I found that both these technical sessions really added feathers to the cap of this conclave, because they will definitely help us in taking the economic journey of growth of Odisha forward in a realistic manner.
It's my question to the bankers. Since bank is a commercial organization, they must have to do a better revenue for the growth. Why not they should make and shortlist the entrepreneurs available in Odisha and train them up in specific tourism related and give the finance and get the benefit in a better way? If it is possible, I hope it will give a light and they can bring the success stories by which the entrepreneurs will follow in a big way and ultimately we will get the end. Thank you.
Well, your thought is very noble and in fact it is very appreciable also. But again I will repeat what I told to Mr. Subuddhi, that is not our unique selling proposition. That is not our strength. How do you expect me to do a good job when the specialized agencies like the Department of Tourism, like the various colleges which teach tourism and hospitality, catering, they do not work out a method of supporting in this field. So let us restrict ourselves to the core competence area which we have, and we see that there is immense potential in this area, and that is why Bankers Club had taken this as a topic, because there is immense potential not only for the tourist, whether domestic or international, but also for the bankers to support the efforts being made by the various stakeholders for improving the capacity in the area of tourism and hospitality. So I would say that we are ready to support it.
Intellectual discussion is always a healthy trend, and this trend will definitely go a long way in strengthening and also taking things forward in the direction. So I am confident this conclave will help in a big way. Further, the connect between government, entrepreneurs and bankers will also help to take things forward.
How you look forward to such kind of event in the future?
I think this is something which is very encouraging, because the Bankers Club as a forum had never done something like this. So going by the response that you must have seen during the course of the day from my banker friends and from the entire stakeholders who had come, the guests who had come, that there's tremendous response to this. So we feel possibly we could have covered some more people also at this. So we're definitely encouraged. Often I can't say when do you have to plan. You have, there's so many issues involved, timing and then, availability of people. So many things are there when you plan in your own words that gala event. So it takes its own time. But I am very upbeat about it. I'll definitely plan more.
Okay, thank you so much. Of course, this was the first ever gala event on behalf of the Bankers Club of Bhubaneswar, especially in the field of banking and connecting banking with the common people through the platform of economy. And the Bankers Club of Bhubaneswar is also looking forward to organize such kind of events in the future.
दास्तान गोई की आज की इस महफिल में आपका खैर मकदम है। तो पेश है दास्तान शहजादी चौबोली की।
किसी से बरावे न कुछ काम जां,
जो वो मेहरबां हो तो कुल मेहरबां,
अगरचे यहाँ क्या है और क्या नहीं,
पर उस बिन तो कोई किसी का नहीं।
कलम गो जुबां अपनी लावे हजार,
लिखे किस तरह हमदो परवरदिगार,
आजिज़ सयां अंबिया की जुबां,
ज़बाने कलम को वो कुदरत कहाँ,
वो माबूद यकता खुदाए जहां,
कि जिसने किया कुन में कौनो मकां,
दिया अक्लो इदराक उसने हमें,
किया खाक से पाक उसने हमें।
तो हाजरीन, आरिज़े शाहिदे बयान कुछ इस तरह फरमाते हैं कि भगवान राम की कृपा बनी रहे ताकि चौबोली की ये कहानी बारंबार सुनाई जाती रहे और हर युग, हर दौर, हर मुल्क, हर खित्ते में इसको सुनने और सुनाने वाले पैदा होते रहे। पिला मुझको साकी शराबे सुखन,
कि मफ्तू हो जिससे बाबे सुखन,
सुखन की मुझे फिक्र दिन रात है,
सुखन ही तो है और क्या बात है,
सुखन के तलबगार हैं अक्लमंद,
सुखन से है नामे निकोया बुलंद,
सुखन का सदागम बाजार है,
सुखन संज इसके खरीदार हैं,
सुखन का सिला यार देते रहे,
जवाहिर सदा मोल देते रहें,
रहे जब तलक दास्ताने सुखन,
इलाही रहे कद्रदाने सुखन, इलाही रहे कद्रदाने सुखन, इलाही रहे कद्रदाने सुखन।